No matter what happens between now and September next year, New Zealand will go into that Rugby World Cup as firm favourites to win the Webb Ellis Trophy for an unprecedented third successive time. And earlier I spoke to Peter Bills, author of a new book called The Jersey, exploring how a small country of fewer than 5 million people created this mighty All Blacks team, one of the most successful sport has ever seen.
People, firstly, are extremely humble in New Zealand. And by the way, anybody who gets into the All Blacks, it is laid out, drummed into them, how you behave, how you don't get a head so big that you can't get it through the dressing room door. And if you do, well, watch out, because there's going to be an awful lot of people taking you off at the knees.
So much to admire about the success of New Zealand, one of the greatest sports teams of all time. Their record is astonishing, but not without controversy down the years, particularly the use of athletic talent from the Polynesian islands. What did you find out about that?
In the late 80s, they were just taking all these players from the Pacific Islands, Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, and it was a one-way street. They took all these players. It's different now because we're talking second, third generation. They've grown up in New Zealand. But what is fascinating about this topic is the way that both sides had to bend to accommodate. The New Zealand system had to bend to accommodate their sheer joie de vivre, if you like, of the way they played the game in countries like those Pacific Islands. Unstructured, yes, but that's what gave them this immense appeal. But when they moved to New Zealand, they learned that you had to bring in discipline as well. And you had to play with a responsibility, a greater responsibility. Well, of course, today they've married the two, and wow, what a formidable unit they've created because of that. And manifestly, that is one of the reasons for the All Blacks' extraordinary success in recent years.
And one of the players with Pacific Island heritage, there are so many, is Carl Tuinu-Kuafi, who 4 years ago wasn't playing rugby, and his doctor warned him he was on his way to a heart attack.
He was an Auckland bouncer, of all things, weighing 27 stone. And his doctor said to him, unless you lose weight, you're going to die very young. And I think even this guy took it on board and listened. And again, once he got into this New Zealand rugby system, he began to see that discipline was essential. Whatever you're trying to do in that system, you have to be disciplined.
As for the match this weekend, England-New Zealand, how much will the All Blacks want to send a message less than a year before the World Cup to one of their rivals for that trophy in their own backyard?
Well, I reckon Steve Hanson's been dreaming in the last few weeks at night. Beat England at Twickenham and next weekend beat Ireland in Dublin. You can go home and have a fantastic holiday and Christmas, because these are the two key games of their year, in my view, and certainly they don't underestimate either side. Yeah, England have struggled recently, despite the win over South Africa, but England at Twickenham are always a formidable unit. They have to get past England, and next weekend, if they can do the same against Ireland, it's going to set them up beautifully for that World Cup and that attempt to become the first country ever to win 3 World Cups on the bounce.
That was Peter Bills, author of The Jersey, a new book about the heritage of the New Zealand All Blacks, speaking to me earlier. Go to our website there, cnn.com/sport, and read about why the red poppy is one thing that will unite New Zealand and England at that match this weekend.